everyone. I'm gonna talk about first what we have achieved so far at Fluence, and then announce a couple of great things that are coming from today. Just a quick reminder, we are building enterprise-grade, low-cost global compute platform, which we also call Cloudless compute platform, which means that we build alternatives to big cloud platforms, hyperscalers like Amazon, Google, and Azure. We aggregate in globally compute resources from data centers with enterprise-grade hardware there to create reliable alternative, like reliable, resilient cloud alternative. So our first product that is working so far, it's right now in a permissioned mode, is virtual servers. So it's a CPU servers virtualized, where you can run any kind of workload, like a typical cloud backend workload, databases, data processing, blockchain nodes, and so on and so forth. Main use case right now is blockchain nodes, because we are in Web3 space, and it provides compute up to 85% cheaper than if you compare it to hyperscalers. So it's pretty affordable, pretty reliable, high-end hardware, and pretty cool, actually. These are our customers so far. We're very excited to have those companies trust in us. There are a couple of great big names in Web3, like Neo Foundation or Antir Solutions, who literally run thousands and thousands of blockchain nodes for a bunch of blockchain ecosystems. And we are happy to have them and support them with the infrastructure. And one of our missions that we've been talking about is that we see that Web3 sort of proposes this idea of decentralization. But if you think of the infrastructure of Web3, a lot of nodes, a lot of protocols just sitting in hyperscalers. Like, we still see that more than 50%, like maybe 70 or 80% of Web3 workloads living in Amazon and Google and Azure. And this is not the decentralization we wanted to see. And we are trying to bring in like open alternative to these hyperscalers. And that's why hosting blockchain nodes is so important on protocols like Fluence and instead of hyperscalers. But the other funny thing is actually we don't see a lot of projects in Web3 space who build these decentralized networks of virtualized CPU servers where you can actually run nodes. We are pretty much unique in this space. These are some current protocol achievements and stats. There is around 3,000 virtual servers deployed so far. We have a pretty good deals pipeline, around 7 million in IRR, which is coming. Current IRR is 1 million. And we have this synthetic metric of like how much our customers saved so far by running on us versus hyperscalers, basically by comparing pricing. And essentially we are, this number is growing. We are saving more and more every time to customers for using us instead of big clouds. We also have the token. So Fluence token, FLT, is used to secure compute. So people stake to compute providers to allow them to onboard more capacity. And staking numbers are growing steadily. So like people staking more tokens. You can see that like around 35 million FLT right now staked on the protocol. It's around almost 20% of circulating supply, and there is an average APR which is like fluctuates from around 12 to 24% on average. So token plays actually a big part in our protocol design, and I'm gonna talk a little more on other token use cases that we are enabling. Because we're building the protocol not on consumer devices or like some end user hardware or some individual servers, it built on professional providers who operate racks of servers in data centers. we have to help them to manage all of this capacity. So last few months, we've been busy building the upgraded solution for providers to manage their stack. So there is a new system which is being deployed to our main locations and then to deploy to all the providers, which allows to manage servers, like monitor their performance, availability, connect them to a network, plug servers to subnetworks, and so on and so on. So like basically manage the fleet of servers within data center, which is very similar to how people run private clouds. So we developed this solution specifically for providers to operate at high scale. Pretty complex stuff, pretty exciting. So it's awesome that we rolling it out. Another thing is that because our main customers are operating many VMs at the same time, so they run in many blockchain nodes, not just like one node per customer. API is very important, so we have API that allows to massively spin and manage VMs. At scale, we can set up like hundreds or thousands VMs pretty quickly. So this is also available to customers right now. There is a API documentation at fluence.dev. You can check it out. So this is the roadmap. We launched the protocol mainnet last year. We launched FLT staking, and then we started delivering cloud products step by step. This year, we delivered virtual servers and API, and earlier this year we released the roadmap for this year and next year, and we said we're going to have GPUs, we're going to have a bunch of other like block storage, a bunch of other cloud features, and also on token side. So now we are making some of these plans reality, and announcement. Today, first thing that we announced is that our virtual servers, which been officially in alpha stage, we are moving to beta. However, so they are stable, they are working. It's actually pretty good performance and quality. But we still keep in limited access. So you have to, if you would go to our platform console today, you should be able to see the button to request access to virtual servers, and then we will approve you to use it. So the reason we are not making it public yet, there is because it's a virtual servers, you can run anything on it. It's pretty cheap, and it's a typical problem of clouds when people may want to run some unwanted software, which we need to make sure that we are can put down in a reasonable amount of time, and we have like a proper policies in place. So they think this process still needs to be polished before opening access to everyone. But the idea, because it should be decentralized, we will open it to everyone and make it like a public service for everyone to use compute. We also bring in some new high-end hardware with like AMD EPYC Zen 5, with some of our top providers who are working with us, like Kabat and Picnic. The second thing is GPUs. We are bringing GPUs finally to a network. We start from GPU containers, which are available starting from today. If you log into console, they should be already available for you right after sign up. And in several few weeks, we also bring GPU VMs, GPU bare metal, and including spot instances which you would be able to choose. This works as the aggregation. So like we aggregating providers for CPU compute, we aggregating other providers for GPU compute. And we have several partners here, and some of them actually also aggregators. So the way it works is you can think of this as naive analogy of airline tickets aggregators, right? So there's a multiple layers of aggregation of airline tickets because the prices and availability of certain type of tickets changing all the time. That's why the aggregation becomes so valuable. With GPU market, it's very quite similar because there is a bunch of different models and different hardware setups that you may need in different locations. Which availability constantly changing. That's why aggregation of as many as possible locations and providers and GPU models becomes valuable because you can discover the best GPU for your use case that you can rent right away on demand per hour pricing. So we have a bunch of models available right away. More models is coming with VMs and bare metal and more locations. So now I'm gonna do demo. I want to show you how it works. This is Fluence console. This is CPU cloud. I can create CPU instance, but I'll not do it for now. I will switch to GPUs. So these are GPU containers. These are initial list of models that are available now. I can choose options in terms of configurations. You know, if I take like let's say H100, there's a bunch of configuration and locations available here with more RAM, more disk, and the price is different. For the sake of demo, I'll just pick the simplest RTX 4090. I'll take the minimal instance, and I'll need to, what I want to do is I want to run some LLM model on it, so I'll deploy custom container. Let me copy the Docker image URL here. Set image. I'll keep everything to default. I only need to open this port for Ollama. And that's actually it. I can specify some more config with starting variables, start command. I don't need all of this. I have my SSH key already here. So I can just launch this instance now. And so this particular instance will be created on Akash network. So you can see that there is a on-chain bid has been created in Akash marketplace. Now providers are responding. We are matching with providers and finalizing the deal within Akash. And now the cluster will be starting. So it usually takes like around a minute for, in case of Akash, to start the instance. And while we are waiting for it, I can show you how the VM creation or like bare metal works. We have few more models coming for in terms of VMs. There are you can see that some of these models have like different. You can choose different RAM and interface like PCI Express, SXM, and there are more models. There are more high-end GPUs that are available. You can choose the instance size. You can choose like up to 8 GPUs per instance. There are a bunch of locations. For this GPU, it's mainly Canada. It's actually quite a lot. Let me pick something else. Yeah, so and the rest is the same. The rest is like typical for similar like infrastructure as a service projects. So I can set operating system image and I can go and create instance. I'm not gonna do it for VMs right now. I'll get back to my instances. I can see that the instance for my container instance is created. And now I want to check if it's if it's working. So I will go to, I'll need to copy this port, and I'll go to Postman to make requests to this instance because I deployed Ollama there, and I'll pull this model. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll pull this model. It takes a few seconds to pick up. I maybe can make it bigger. Yeah, I can make it bigger. Yeah, we see now that model being pulled by Ollama. And now I want to make some prompt to the model. Let me just copy. So I'll ask the model to write a poem about Fluence network. Let's see if it, oops, I need to change the endpoint. All right. Invisible lines, a hidden stream. Fluence network, a seamless dream. Efficient flow, a smooth design. Connecting all, a vital link in time. Awesome. Thank you. Great poetry, Llama 3.2, 1B parameters. So we see that instance is working. And that's GPUs, this as simple. Please sign up, give it a try. GPU containers available from today. So pretty excited about it. But we have one more announcement. Let me slideshow. All right, one more announcement. FLT collateralized stablecoin. Stablecoin is something that we also described before in our roadmap. The reason why it's important to have it is because Fluence has on-chain marketplace where customers pay for compute to providers. These payments happen right now in stablecoin, in USDC. But having native stablecoin allows us to better leverage the FLT token and its valuation and its like capitalization and value. Because essentially there are two things. First is you can mint stablecoin for your FLT holdings, which means for the protocol, you lock up more FLT out of circulating supply, which is kind of good for sustainability of token. For FLT holders, you can essentially this way, almost for free, use the cloud. You can rent the compute by owning FLT, which is pretty cool. So one of the main use cases for this stablecoin would be to pay for compute, and we would push to make it native payment method instead of USDC, but we would also keep other stablecoins to be available. You can also borrow FLT, like borrow more FLT. When you mint stablecoin, you can swap it to FLT, so you can leverage your FLT position. It also brings the use case for PFLT, which is liquid staking token brought by Parasail, who are our partners and who we're collaborating with to develop this stablecoin. And you can earn additional yield on this stablecoin by putting it into liquidity pools, essentially. So you have FLT, you mint stablecoin, you put it in liquidity pool of FLT versus this stablecoin, and you earn, you earn from trading fees. So you, on top of staking rewards, you can maximize your yield generation. And you may get some additional rewards from Parasail.